Some people say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I know what they mean because every year I play Madden.
Touchdown Falcons!
If football is a game of inches, then Madden typically manages to perfectly recapture that feeling in the minutia of its year-to-year iterations. Every August, fans sit around and obsessively try to figure out what has changed and if things truly feel any better. However, this year, things feel very different than they do in Madden NFL 24 on the field. And I don't need to bring out the chains to see that Madden NFL 25 has made good progress. But once you step off the gridiron, the same old problems rear their ugly head another year in a row. Deja vu all over again. The big new on-field change this year is Boom Tech. It breaks down collisions and tackles into several smaller animations that take individual player rating, strength, weight, force, velocity, angle, and momentum into account. Outcomes are way more unpredictable, in a good way, and I've seen more unique tackle animations in a week than I did with all of Madden 24. The bigger player with better stats doesn't always win, but you do get more highlight reel catches, more defenders bouncing off of running backs,
Oh, a good return up past the 30.
and more whiff tackles from taking a bad angle.
He's got it at the 3.
Running backs now get skinny when they hit holes, and ball carriers brace for and turn away from incoming contact. The new system also allows you to chain together ball carrier moves to create "let's watch that again" plays where you're juking defensive players out of their shoes.
Oh, what a juke into space.
Boom Tech also changes Madden's beloved hit stick. If you use it too early, too late, or from a bad angle, you're more likely to blow past the guy you're trying to tackle or bounce off of them. But if you time it right, you'll blow them up and be more likely to force a fumble.
He loses the football.
Best of all, you're getting real-time feedback on what you did wrong, or right, on every hit stick attempt, so you always know why things play out the way they do. When you pull off a great play, it feels awesome.
Oh, for the 5th time.
When you mess up, it feels awful, but fair. That's the way it should be.
Touchdown.
Other welcome on-field changes will make you feel right at home if you've played College Football 25. You can now choose specific coverage shells like Cover 2, Cover 3, and so on, when disguising your defense instead of choosing between base and man alignments. You can adjust the depth of your receiver's routes in 1 or 5 yard increments. You can shift both sides of your line independently. You can try for one-handed catches that expand your catch radius but decrease your chance to come down with the ball. And you can now kick using the new multimeter. All improvements that made their debut in College Football 25. Madden 25 even feels closer in terms of speed, which I like. I hate using the multimeter, but all these options are welcome because they give you more control over what happens during a play. One more thing that shockingly didn't make the jump from College Football 25 is running out the clock automatically when you kneel down if a game is mathematically over. It's a weird omission. If there's one thing I don't enjoy about Madden 25's on-field action, it's that, like College Football 25, there's less on-field feedback. The legacy kick meter used to tell you when you'd nailed a perfectly timed kick. It doesn't anymore.
Butker's kick here is good.
When you throw a pass, you used to get feedback telling you how it went, whether your timing was good, and so on. None of that is in Madden 25, which is odd given the updated hit stick feedback. I'm not a fan.
Touchdown, Tampa.
Still, that tactical chess match, coupled with split-second decision-making, are the best parts of Madden, and it's hard to argue that this iteration isn't better on the field than it has ever been. The problems off the field, however, are pretty much the same as they've been for the last few years, though there are some key changes there, too.
They get 20 on the connection.
Madden 25's updated looks are where its improvements are most immediately clear. The menus are much cleaner, your options are big, easy to understand, and miraculously, largely lag-free. This may not seem like a big deal, but if you played Madden 24 at launch, it feels like manna from heaven. Hallelujah, brothers and sisters. They heard us. Alright, Will, yeah, new menus, big whoop. Tell us about something more substantial than that. Well, the major modes benefit from this new focus on presentation too, and I feel like a lot of what's good here can, similarly, be traced directly back to the improvements we saw in College Football 25. In franchise mode, you can finally create female coaches, and there are more customization options than ever before in terms of heads and apparel. There are still only 10 heads for women compared to 40 for men, but it's cool that they're there. Superstar mode, which allows you to import your player from College Football 25, also benefits from this new coat of paint, despite ditching the pretense of an opening storyline and voice acting entirely. The draft actually looks and feels more like the NFL draft. When the almighty Joe Throw got drafted by the Falcons 8th overall, Roger Goodell, the most hated man in football, came out and hugged him before presenting him with a Falcons jersey and posing for a picture, just like in real life. Did Joe look like some hideous golem animated by black magic compared to the mute wax figure of Madden 25's Roger Goodell? Yes. Does that matter? Not really. It still looks a hell of a lot better than what we had. Once I was in the Falcons facility, I walked around with head coach Raheem Morris, and we discussed my goals for the preseason. Again, it's a little weird to see everyone's mouths move and have no sound come out, but graphically, way better than last year, and I appreciated the moment-to-moment visual upgrades, whether I was chatting with my teammates in the locker room or out on the field. No longer are we trapped in hotel rooms. Things just look better all around, whether it's character models, animations before, during, and after plays, or the new and improved touchdown graphics that pull up the scoring player's photo. Again, it's the little things. Not everything is a home run here, however. I hate the new play arts, at least the ones that we see in the playbook. They're harder to parse than the ones in Madden 24, just like the ones in College Football 25. They can't all be zingers, I guess, but man, these can't be replaced fast enough. I also like that there are more mini-games to play, and that there are finally mini-games for O-linemen you can use to focus train them in franchise mode. I don't particularly enjoy these mini-games, admittedly, but at least they're there and I can use them. Overall, the mini-games here are an improvement over Madden 24, but still something I only do to train my players. Getting messages from my GM when I'm playing as a coach in my franchise is also a nice touch, and I'm a big fan of the new commentary teams, particularly Kate Scott and Brock Heward. Although they're not as detailed in their commentary as the classic duo of Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Bengals take a 6-0 lead right away.
The new presentation is good, but all of this just emphasizes how much catch-up Madden has to play to meet the bare minimum. You know how you feel when you order food in a restaurant and it takes forever to arrive at your table? This is like that. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy it's here, but it should not have taken this long, especially when there's still work left to do.
And he's going to be brought down up at the 28-yard line.
As far as modes go, Madden 25 is exactly the same as Madden 24. You've got the EA money machine that is Ultimate Team, which, to the surprise of absolutely no one, is getting more seasons than ever before. 8 in total. It's still a Skinner box, the challenges are still boring, and it's still predatory in its monetization practices. There is a new head-to-head mode that takes your playstyle and skill level into account when matching you with opponents, but this is still a pay-to-win mode designed to either drain your bank account or keep you grinding. Superstar benefits from new storylines and such, but it's still not interesting enough to keep my attention long-term. The skills trainer is still great, but it's also getting a little long in the tooth. Superstar Showdown is a fun novelty, and little else. Franchise is still the name of the game, and while the ability to sort draft prospects by specific ratings and the presentation updates are nice, it's still behind similar modes in other sports games, and in need of more love. The more things change, well. There are improvements here that are great, but it's yet another coat of paint being put on a car whose bottom is rusting out. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The best thing EA could do for Madden would be to give a team 5 years to rebuild it from the ground up, but we all know they won't, so we dance the same dance.
Good opportunity for the defense to escape this drive.
There's a lot to like in Madden NFL 25. The on-field action is the best it's been thanks to Boom Tech and the additions from College Football 25. The presentation upgrades are very welcome too, but the modes are still functionally the same. Ultimate Team is still a Skinner box, Superstar is still mediocre, and the skills trainer really needs an update to help newer and lapsed players along. Franchise is the best thing here, and it still also needs help. The improvements it did get are nice, but long overdue, and you don't get a parade for doing stuff you should have done years ago. EA seems content to continue skating by on being the only company with the NFL license, and that's not a way to remedy the same old things that have been dragging Madden down for years. Remember that bit about the definition of insanity? For more, check out my review of College Football 25 and our review of F1 Manager 24. And for everything else, stick with IGN.